on. Let me talk a little bit more about, excuse me, some specifics with our resources. So, one of the things that we do provide is funding for travel if you're doing a presentation at a conference with a paper. And there's also Georgia Tech supports that as well. So there's some other opportunities like that. Julio mentioned the thesis spaces there that we got so many. We had to do 2 different ones this year that we've done that. So you have a own desk to work with, and also you get your own project funding that with that as well. So if you're needing to get resources to do your build models, or if you're wanting to recruit participants and all that, you have funding that goes along with that as well. We have equipment. I'll present like 3 or 4 different slides here about all the access to different resources and all. It covers a lot of things, and the makerspaces as well as part of that. We do have an IDSA student chapter, an undergraduate one, and then we have a graduate council, and I'll talk a little bit about that more here in a minute. Let me get my mouse back in the right spot here. There we go. All right. So one of the neat things that our program in general tries to do is that any faculty that's coming in that is tenure track is usually developing research. That's part of their tenure process. And so they get the opportunity to develop a research lab around their research interest. And so these are pretty much a full list there of most of the research spaces that are available. At times you'll have a faculty member who may run a project for a studio through this, or they have research funding and they're looking for graduate students to help out with the actual research and to do that. So a lot of different areas with that. We do have more information about these on our website, so check those out. It's one of those things where it's a lot to cover and get in depth about with it. So we do have one lab, the very top, interactive product design lab, that is a lab that's set up for developing interactive products. You go in, you have all the gizmos and sensors and everything else that you can use for your different projects, for different classes and all, as well as it has a ton of resources for you to check out. Cameras, what do you call it, a rig to do stabilization with like a video camera, just tons of stuff. Noah, who runs that, keeps up with all the latest technologies and sees about purchasing stuff, and they're all available for you to use as students and all. So once again, another fantastic resource. We do have our traditional design shop, which is down in the basement of the other building that we're connected to. Besides all the traditional woodworking equipment, they really broadened their focus into all these other kind of equipment and everything to make things available. Welding booth, spray booth, large format laser cutters. I think we have a total of 4 throughout the whole College of Design. We do have a color 3D printer. That's the one in the upper left-hand corner there, which is fantastic. I get my students to do some prints out of that in a course that I do on advanced modeling concepts. It's just amazing the quality you can get out of that. We do have a FDM metal printer. So it's not rapid per se, because you got to 3D print things and then actually put them in a furnace for like 4 days and bake them, get rid of all the substrate in there with it. But it's still another resource with it. Nylon, carbon fiber printers, more metal laser cutters, more milling machines and so forth with it. Just tons of resources and areas to do assembly projects, models, and everything that goes along with that. So and Trip, who runs that, is very knowledgeable about all this equipment. Great resource to work with and all to do that. My area of expertise is in kind of our immersive environment. So I have had the fortune to be able to get some very nice equipment set up for VR and MR presentation. In the graduate studio, we do have an area that is set up for VR equipment. We actually just purchased 2 very high-end Bargio XR systems. Those are kind of like the ultra high quality with MR mixed reality capabilities. You can see a vehicle sitting there in front of you in your space. So it does the pass through and all that. It's really fantastic. And then we got a slew of different computers to go along with that. As part of this recent upgrade in mixed reality, we are also getting in haptic devices, such as haptic vests or arm and feet pads and all, and exploring what we can do with those. That's part of the opportunities that you get presented, is to take a course and learn about the technology, and then maybe learn about how to apply that in a thesis or master's project, or apply it in another studio course or something like that with it. So a lot of great equipment around that. Now, one of the crazy things about Georgia Tech is we have a ton of makerspaces. It started with the Invention Studio, the first one there, which is kind of general 3D printing and stuff. And then almost everyone at school wanted to come up with a makerspace. And so you get some that are kind of really interesting, focus with it. The one in the bottom left-hand corner of that picture is, one that does soft goods. So you have all these sewing machines you can go in and use and make up different soft, fabric material and sew it and so forth. The one on the right side is all, once again, electronic stuff that you can do and test and so forth with it. So it covers a wide range. And the awesome thing about almost all of these, they're all free for you to use. Biggest challenge is probably fighting for the 3D printer that you want to use or something like that with it. But it's really the maker space concept at Georgia Tech has really taken off, and that collaborative kind of effort, having ability to go into one of these, have a student say, "Oh, this is how you use it," and show you and everything. It's just awesome. With that, we are fortunate to just be part of that. So that's just another great resource with it. I mentioned earlier about our grad council. So this is something that we really wanted to kind of get going, but with the pandemic, I got put aside. But once last year, the students said it's time to do it and got going with it, and it's really taken off. I think I was talking to some students today, and I think they're going camping this weekend, if I believe that's what I heard correctly, and all, as part of the grad council. It tries to do the social aspect of this. So what you're seeing here is pictures from last year, the Friendsgiving. It was took place on the Wednesday before our Thanksgiving, and everybody brought in a dish from their culture and all that, and shared that, and it was a great experience. Great to be there. A lot of great food with it. So they try to do one kind of social thing per month, as well as one, developing professional skills and so forth, such as the portfolio review or resume review or something like that as well. So very active, very good group of students that headed up and all, and something worthwhile to get involved with. Now, we do have a couple opportunities to do study abroad, and there are kind of two different ways of doing this. I should have reversed these two, but first off, we do have actually a campus, Georgia Tech campus in Shenzhen, China. It's one that has been there for several years. It's been more engineering focused and all. But last year, we actually started our Masters of Industrial Design there. It is actually the same program that we offer here on our main campus in Atlanta. And so we have students that are starting over there that are going through that. We actually have two who went and did their first year there, and now they're come over and are doing their second year in the Masters of Industrial Design here in Atlanta. So they'll be working on their thesis or master project this year, and taking electives and all with it. And then we are hoping that we can set it up where students who maybe start here would go over there for a semester or for a year or something like that. One of the great things about Shenzhen, it is a hub where a lot of companies come in and work with, but a lot of manufacturing and all that. So the ability to get something done is just amazing that, they have all that capability over there that you can tap into. So great experience. So you might have the opportunity, if you wanted to start at our Atlanta campus and go over there for maybe a semester, come back, or maybe complete a specific study over there or something like that. It's neat in that it is really exact same program, and so when you take courses over there and take courses over here, they're all really interchangeable. A lot of times they're the same course number, there's a different section because you're taking them over there, with it. So that's another great opportunity for you. Now we have then the traditional kind of exchange program. This is with TU Delft, which is in the Netherlands. And this is one where you can, once again, go over as an exchange student, take courses over there, and get them to apply to your degree here at Georgia Tech. And I believe in the springtime, we'll have a couple students from there coming over and being part of our program as well. So that's more the kind of traditional. TU Delft is a huge program over there, about 2,000 students. And so big research teams, as you can see, and all that. So if you wanted to get into that perspective, your European kind of design culture and all that, we offer that as well, that you can go and do. And like I said, it's more the traditional kind of a semester exchange program that you do and study over there. So great opportunity. I was fortunate to do an exchange program as a graduate student. I actually did it in business. I have a business background, or business degree, I should say, is one of my degrees. And I got to say, it was just fantastic being exposed to that. And I did do it over in the Netherlands as well. So great country and all to do.